Welcome to Gadgets for Families, the tech podcast for those that always plan on September being the busiest tech support month and sometimes have to leave that shiny new iPhone in the box while trying to help their clients navigate the new OS updates, set up new phones, etc. Jason, we never experienced that in the corporate world, did we?
Oh, all the time.
Yep. And those that really want to learn more about the new OS or the new phone they just got. So this is for all of you. And anyone else looking to get more out of life through tech, I'm your host, Greg Cunningham.
And I'm your host, Jay Benjamin.
All right, let's go on to the final section of the main stuff. I think this will go pretty quickly here, but this is the, I posted the section on where we spent our money last week. You can check out that video, but just to follow up on what has arrived for me, and then we're going to talk about my interesting shipping experience here. So those two Anchor stands that I bought. So I bought one that's just a two-way, which is just the single stand up, and it's got a place for Qi charging on the bottom to put my AirPods. I mentioned that as long as I turn the AirPods so that the lid faces towards me, it lines up fine. Charge is awesome. I love having my phone sitting over there. Perfect, right? And then the one on my nightstand is a triple. It's just got a slot that pops up. I'm using my existing Apple charger because I want to fast charge the Ultra, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah, it's basically the same thing with that little side piece where the loop pops up and I've got my thing threaded in there. Awesome. Love it. It's going to be great when I have the always on screen. So I can't recommend those two stands any more highly than I do. They are perfect. And like I said, I did not get the 3-in-1s, although I did just see that the Belkin 3-in-1 that fast charges everything is on sale for like $50 off right now. So it's $100 instead of $150. But I got these two because I didn't care about fast charging in any way, shape, or form for like $80, both stands. So I love them.
I agree with that. I think that was a good move.
Yep. Then I got the two Apple Watch bands, and I already sent Jason pictures of both of these. And I was feeling guilty about having two and thought about returning one, but I'll explain why I'm not here in just a minute, what I did to offset that cost. But the one I'm wearing right now is the Sandstone, the Nike one that's got the holes in it. And so it's got little flecks, and they said it's recycled band material that's in there. So it's got some orange and brown and black and blue. And I'm wearing a blue shirt, which means the blue ones stand out just a little bit more. So I love it. It is. And I had only had cheap versions of these, like the Amazon knockoffs with the holes, and they always felt like I could break them. Right.
Yeah. You'll snag it on something and it'll tear your watch off. Right.
I will say that one of the connectors that goes in, the outside of it's not smooth like I would have expected. It's a little rough. But the other three are okay. But anyway, I love that one. And then the other one I got was the orange and Sequoia Nike Velcro one, which is absolutely my favorite. That's the one my favorite style is those Velcro ones, right? And this color is great. I had two camping bands that I had that were both kind of a gray or a green, and I would just wear. One of them was a very, very early one that I got, and they're just kind of reaching their end of life. But my daughter said, "Yeah, I'll take those and wear those," and so she took them. And the only thing I'm probably going to do that I don't like on the other Nike one is that it's got a little, almost like a tag loop on the end that's got the orange Nike swoosh.
Yes.
Well, the way I like the band, it makes it look upside down to me. And it just kind of flops around.
That's what I was going to ask you. Was it annoying?
Yeah.
Did it annoy you in it with it flopping around? Okay.
So I think as soon as I know that I'm not returning it, I'm just going to snip that off. Or I could actually probably take a little bit of thread and sew it down so it was flat. But then the swoosh is still going to be upside down for me. And you know how OCD I can be about some of those kinds of things. I tried turning the band the other way that it's supposed to go. I just don't like it that way. It doesn't feel as comfortable to me. So, but the color is awesome. The orange will stand out. The blue will stand out. The green will stand out depending on what you're doing. So that's probably going to be my new, I wear that one camping all the time band. So,
Right.
So I think you're planning on, what are you planning on doing about watch bands? Because that's the one purchase I know you want to make.
Right, right. So the one band that you're wearing now, I'm getting that one, and there was it is the Velcro one. I don't remember the name of it. Right, I hadn't checked it since that day because I would have been tempted. And actually, speaking of, I should have made the purchase. So every now and then you'll reach in your pocket and you're like, "Hey, these pants had a washed $5 bill in." Well, the same thing happened to me with $50.
Ooh,
So I know my nephew had some issues with his car. He needed to borrow something, and I loaned him some money, and he Apple paid me back the money, and I completely forgot about it. So I'm just going through and like, hey, where did this money come from? That could have been my watch band money, but now I'm going to use it on the ship. So uh, still no plans on to after we come back because that can run a little expensive sometimes with those onboard purchases and stuff. But so definitely the band that you're getting, and
that's
I was a little torn between
the sandstone
yes
Nike one.
with the
Yeah, I
with recycled
I
material in it.
love it.
Yep.
It's super
Yeah.
comfortable. I want to wear it on a workout. Haven't been able to work out with it yet because I think that extra ventilation is going to be great
Right.
on a
Right.
workout as long as it'll stay in place. And I never had problems with bands falling off riding my
Yeah.
bike or anything. If I crash hard enough to pull this band off, my watch is probably going to be the
That's the
least of
least of your worries.
my
Yeah.
worries, right? So,
Right, right.
um, but it'll replace those kind of those cheaper ones. I had just bought a replacement for the trail loop or whatever it was, right? That I've
Yeah.
been. So this will replace that. So, okay, so you're definitely getting this one, and then you're
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about one of the other ones, the other Velcro
I'm
ones.
thinking about one of the Velcro ones, and I remember there was like a white, like cream color, and but I have a trail loop too that's that same cream color. It's one of those Amazon knockoffs that I really love, even though it's not an official Apple one. So still debating on the second one, but definitely the one that you have on now. I'm going with that one. I
I'd
like that
recommend
one
it.
from the moment I saw it.
Okay, so I want to talk about this. This might normally go in the post show, but I want to talk about some problems I've had. So,
Right.
so I ordered the AirPods Pro, the new versions of the AirPods Pro for delivery on launch day last Friday.
Right.
They are still not here. So, with the phones, I expect them to come from overseas, right? But this
Yes.
other stuff, I didn't expect anything like that. And I also ordered those two bands for delivery on the same day. So all of this stuff was coming. And I already went on
Mhm.
my rant about how in the world Apple knew that they were all going to the same place and a band and AirPods were part of the same order, but they're still all coming in separate boxes and separate shipping orders.
Right.
Apple, that's one way you could save the planet, right?
Yeah.
Figure out how to. Amazon can do it, right? Amazon can do this. They can combine
Right. They
things.
do
So
it.
anyway, but here's what happened. So those I got notification that those were shipping before I got notification that my bands were going to ship. Okay.
Weird.
And they were supposed to ship by express shipping, and the bands were shipping by standard shipping. So bands arrived. AirPods are
Right.
still sitting in a warehouse somewhere. So
Right.
the shipping label was created on the 21st. I'm looking at this on my iPad. They got the origin scan on the 21st in Ontario, California. Then there's a warehouse scan about 3 hours later. No, the next day in the early mornings, 1:02 a.m. on the 21st, still in California. They're supposed to be, or on the 22nd, they're supposed to be in my
Yeah.
house on the 22nd, right? Then on the 22nd at 9:20 p.m. from Louisville, which is where UPS is kind of headquarters, right? There's
Yeah.
a Saturday delivery has been requested. Delivery will be rescheduled for Saturday. Well, about an hour after that, there's another warehouse scan in Ontario, California. I'm assuming it's the same warehouse, right?
Okay.
And
Still in
then,
California.
yes. And then this morning at 12:59 a.m., another warehouse scan
In
in
California or
Ontario,
Kentucky?
California. So they haven't
So
moved. As far as
yeah.
I can tell, they have not left the first UPS
Yeah.
warehouse that the AirPods showed up in. And um, if I go look on the UPS website, it's saying they're in a secure facility awaiting clearance or resolution. Like, what the heck does that mean? Right.
Yeah.
And so
The ton of drugs that ship with the
Oh,
with the AirPods coming from China.
geez. So, but as far as I can tell, it didn't come from overseas. So, and I'll
Yeah,
talk about how you know in just a second. But so anyway, it's still sitting there. So I reach out to Apple on Saturday. Remember, you don't want to really do B team customer
yeah,
service, but I thought Saturday of a launch weekend, I wasn't doing support, I was doing sales,
right.
right? And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll get a
They'll
little
be a
bit
little
better
more
stuff.
responsive.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Well, it took them a minute to connect, and then they told me exactly what I thought they were going to tell me. Well, because they've already shipped, we can't refund your money. You'll just have to wait till you get them.
Yeah,
You'll have
which we
14
both kind
days.
of knew.
Yeah,
We expected that.
you'll have 14 days from when they arrive to return them.
Right.
Okay. Are they ever going to leave the warehouse in California?
Probably
That's the
not.
question, right? So I'm going to give them till Friday.
Hmm.
And if they haven't moved on Friday, I'm reaching out via phone, which you know I hate to do.
Right,
I'm going to make a phone call and say either move them or refund my money
right,
because I took advantage of this. Best Buy still had their sale going on for these new AirPods Pro for $50 off. And so
yep,
I placed that order on Saturday. I already have the FedEx tracking number. It's already en route. They'll be here tomorrow.
right, right.
So, and I now I
So a
didn't
faster
or
process coming from Best Buy than from Apple
yeah, and
overall.
yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't supposed to be. They were supposed to be here on day one, and frankly, I was willing to pay the $50 to get them on day one to be able to talk about them today on the show and all that
Right,
kind of stuff, right? So I didn't go back when I knew Best Buy was doing that sale, but now I've done it. I've ordered them. So there's the $50 for my second band. So that's how I'm justifying keeping the second
right,
watch band.
right.
But it's just a little frustrating. So, and I'm sure that Apple's going to try and tell me, no, you just got to wait. Well, it is not my responsibility for Apple to follow these shipments, right? I paid
Yeah,
Apple to ship these devices to me. They're paying UPS. They should be chasing this with UPS, and they already have my money.
right.
They have my money for that and the Apple Care Plus.
Yes,
So, so anyway,
yes.
I'll get the new AirPods Pro tomorrow. Now, one pro tip I've learned about ordering AirPods from Best Buy because I've done this a whole bunch because usually they have them on sale.
Hmm.
I don't order the Apple Care Plus at the time I place the Best Buy order.
Okay.
I always wait till I get the devices and then go on messaging and tell Apple I just got them and say, hey, I
Okay.
want Apple Care Plus and I pay Apple. And the reason I do that is because if you buy them from Best Buy, the last time I did that, I had to go through this whole thing where I had to provide the original receipt from Best Buy, a picture of
Right,
it. And so
right.
it was a process versus if I just say, hey, I just got these uh, um, let me take a step back. When I bought it from Best Buy, I
Hmm.
assumed it would be activated with the product like Apple does when you buy it straight from them along with the product.
Right.
No. So they weren't connected. So then I call
Yeah.
Apple and say, hey, I bought Apple Care Plus from Best Buy, but it's not showing on these devices. Then it's this whole process of receipts and everything to get them to
Right.
connect the two. Versus this time, they'll just send me a ping. Basically, they'll see that I've added the AirPods to my
To
Apple
your iCloud.
ID. They go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, you just barely put them on. They'll send me a secure link for the $29. I also get 3% on my Apple card for doing it. And we have a
Right.
nice day and move on with life. Right. So,
Right. Right. So my brother went through something similar with that with the MacBook, and I remember him telling me like they're having me take this the the MacBook back to the store to do a refund and a repurchase just so he can get the Apple Care because he didn't do the Apple Care right away or something like that. Something involving the receipts. I don't remember all the details, but I remember like that sounds really strange. Like, why are they having you come back and basically do a mock return to resell you the same computer to just for just to do all of that? So yeah, I guess it is something really weird with Best Buy and the way they handle that. So
okay. So that's number one. Um, let's talk about my phone. So
right,
I ordered the phone, right? I already talked about the drama that I had on order day, and I was supposed to, anyway, so I was supposed to get it the 4th through the ninth.
right.
Well,
I think part of that was your indecisiveness.
no, no,
So
no, no, no. I know it wasn't because anyway, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You and I can just
Yeah.
agree to disagree on that one. But
Okay.
but here's the deal. So I got notification on Friday that my phone was
Okay.
being prepared to ship.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. And then I got the final notification that, hey, it's shipped. Tracking information will be available soon. It'll deliver on the 29th.
Okay.
So, which is really cool.
Right. Faster than what
And
you were expecting originally.
yes, yeah. I mean, at least half a week, if not a full week and a
Yeah.
half earlier. So I think UPS has changed how much data they provide when you sign up for UPS My Choice. And here's
Okay.
why. So I got the notification that they had created the package. Cool. And then I got the origin scan from Zhengzhou, China, which makes sense, right? It's one of
Hmm.
those places. And then it goes around in China just a little bit. And then I get, after it arrived at another facility, I get the package is at the clearing agency awaiting final release, which is something I
Okay.
have never seen before, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I get departed from facility. And then after that, there's a notification that says your package has been released by the government agency. Cool, right? And then I get a notification that it's in Incheon, Korea, which is one of the routes that I've seen devices go lately. So
Okay.
that's pretty sad that I know a lot about what direction my
Yeah.
Apple Watch is going to go. I know it's going to go
We
from
usually get
China,
excited when they get to Alaska, right? To
China to
Anchorage,
Korea to Anchorage to Louisville to
right?
Salt Lake to Orem to my house. So
Right.
yeah. All right. So then it gets to Korea, and then a few hours later, I get the your package is cleared customs and is on the way.
Mm.
Cool, right? And I get the departed from facility, and I get the arrived at facility in Anchorage. And at that point, you're just going,
Yeah. It's hours
yes,
now, right?
it's
We're down to
just
hours.
we're good because they were originally saying they were going to deliver on the 27th, not the 29th. So they had it earlier than Apple.
Okay.
And now a lot of times when you order for arrival on release day, UPS will say they're going to deliver earlier,
Yeah.
but Apple's got it locked down, right? They're really
Right.
not. Their Apple is not allowing them. One or two a year of all the ones they deliver on release day will get through, and it's never mind.
Right.
So I thought, okay, well, maybe it's something like that, but they kept saying that. So then it departed from Anchorage. Then it gets to the facility in Louisville, and I go to bed. So I wake up this morning and I expect to see that, yeah, it's in Louisville and good to go. And then it'll get to
Hmm.
Salt Lake tonight
Right.
and Orem in the morning and on the
Right.
truck in the morning, right? That's how it works. Well, when I wake up this morning, I look on there and there's a big triangle with an exclamation point and the
Oh, I hate
status,
to see that.
and it says delay.
Yeah.
So
I
I
hate to
pull
see
this
that.
up. I'm starting to wonder what in the heck is going on with my life, right? Because I pull it up and it says a UPS processing error has delayed delivery. We're adjusting
Mm.
plans as quickly as possible. And I'm going, please just don't do another warehouse scan.
Yeah. Right.
Don't do the warehouse scan because then I just know I'm not going to see it. So what I told myself, because I was joking around with you about the AirPods and stuff, right? That I think this
Mhm.
is just the way of me trying to learn patience when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because
Right.
the reality is, this stuff doesn't matter, right? When it shows up, it shows up. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal. I shouldn't know the exact path that I should expect my phone to come from China to get to me, right? But
Right.
it's me, and we know how much I love this stuff. So I was just like, oh, I'm going to go through this. Same thing with my AirPods,
Yeah.
with my iPhone. The AirPods I can float for a week on my credit card, right? For $250.
Right.
The $1,500 charge for my phone, I'm
Yes.
not going to do what I did with the AirPods, which is go into a store and buy a second one and hope that I can get the other one refunded. It's not going to happen
Right.
with $1,500, right? So I just told myself, I'm done looking at this. And I knew we were going
Right.
to talk about this on the show. So I thought I'll check it on the show and we'll go from there. Right.
Have you checked it?
So I just told you the status of my AirPods. So at 7:30 a.m., I'm assuming this is Kentucky time, right? That was
Right.
the processing error. At 12:01 p.m., which I think Kentucky's on Central, I would assume, right?
Mm, I
Or
believe
Eastern.
so.
Either way, so it was
Yeah.
either 10 or 11 my time. they did an import scan,
Okay.
and the big triangle with the exclamation point has gone away,
Good. Good.
and it says scheduled delivery Wednesday, September 27th again. So we're back to
Okay. Good.
where I was. So either it got stuck on the wrong plane or the wrong thing, and they had to figure out how to reroute it back or something like that. But
Right.
I'm like, come on.
So I'm kind of like you. You know, we know what these things mean. We know once it gets to Anchorage and Alaska, it gets to Kentucky. It usually breezes through Kentucky really quick, right? In
Yeah,
Louisville. So, but what I've seen, and not just with Apple stuff, whenever the fault is on them, right? It said that it was a scan error or something like that. The package usually stays in motion,
yeah,
right? So thankfully, it wasn't something like damaged or something like that to where they had to hold it and it's just sitting there,
yeah,
right? So it was a scan error or it was an error on their part or receiving error or something. It usually still stays in motion. So
yeah.
thankfully that was the case with this one. And even though it had that fault on there, it still continued.
Well, maybe that's the
So
case with my AirPods, right? Maybe the box got completely mangled as part of
yes,
something, and it's just sitting there and they're
right,
waiting for Apple, who's behind on everything because they're so busy right now, to tell
right.
them what
They're shipping
to do with
thousands
it.
of these things. Yeah.
So, which is fine. So I'll keep my eye on this. Here's my thing, and then I want to tell another UPS story because this one was just about made me cry. But um, we're going to be a long podcast today. Sorry, folks, but get over it. Skip the chapters if you want to. But um, so the dilemma that I have is if it does come tomorrow. So Thursdays are our date night and temple, right?
Right.
That's what we do, and I'll have some client work I need to do. So if it comes Wednesday afternoon, I really was kind of hoping it was going to come on Friday, right? I don't want it to be delayed. So please, UPS, don't take that as me saying, feel free to take your time. Get the phone to my house and then I'll decide what to do with it. Because it's also our big worldwide conference this weekend. So I don't have to go to church. It's 10 hours of sessions. You and I have talked about that
Yeah.
before, right?
Yeah.
But I'm at home, right?
But you're
And
still at
so,
your desk. You're tied to your desk and tied to a computer monitor.
no, we can watch it on TV. So I'll be down in the
Oh,
front room,
okay. Cool.
right? So
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
down
Cool.
in the
Cool.
front room watching it. And so it's a good weekend to have that new device, right? To be able
Right.
to fiddle around
Right.
with it and do that kind of stuff. So the question becomes when it shows up tomorrow, do I set it up or do I leave it in its pretty box until I get my client
Right.
work done Friday morning and then just say, okay, now let me spend some quality time with my phone. So
Right.
tune in next week and not next week, maybe I'll do a short on this for sure, right? One way or the
Right.
other. But tune into our next episode and I'll let you know what I end up doing because I have decided after all of this, I have
Hmm.
decided to do the dated phone to phone transfer. And
Yes.
one of the reasons I'm doing that, not restoring from iCloud backup, I'm going to go straight from phone to phone, is Apple has apparently also set it up to automatically transfer your cellular service from one to the other, even if you're
Okay.
going from physical SIM to eSIM. So I shouldn't have to call Verizon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think
So I'm
let us know
hoping
how
that's
that
the case.
goes.
I'm hoping that's the case because I bought an unlocked phone, right? So it's not a
Hmm.
Verizon phone. So I'm hoping you didn't have to do that to make the transfer easy. But if not, I'll be on chat with Verizon. And I'm sure one way or the other, they'll find a way to charge me the $35 activation fee, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I'll let you know how that goes. So I'm going to do that data transfer. That's what I plan on doing. So I've
Hmm.
already deleted a bunch of apps from my current phone, started to prep it that way. So,
Okay. Just some junk apps that you don't use anymore,
yep,
just to
yep,
kind of make
yep,
the transition easier. Okay.
yep. All right. So my other UPS story. So I really like our UPS guy. I talk to him all the time. We
Hmm.
during the pandemic when we had a hard time getting ammunition or when it was so expensive.
Right.
He was delivering ammunition that I was finding. It was like, where did you find that? You know, that kind
Right.
of thing.
Right.
And so we were having that conversation. But one time, I think it was one of the watches. It wasn't the Ultra last year, but I think it might have been the year that I first bought the titanium. You know, I first
Okay.
went from aluminum up to a higher end one,
Yeah.
and everything went fine, and it got on the delivery vehicle. right? And I could see the
Mhm.
delivery vehicle roaming around Nephi, and it was launch day for phones and everything else.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting a phone, I was just getting the watch. And so I was super excited to get the watch, and I'm watching him bounce around. And then all of a sudden, he's on the freeway headed back to their yard.
I remember that. I remember that. Yep.
So he's on the freeway back to the yard, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? And
Yeah.
then
Like, what's going on?
the truck stops at the yard and sits there and
Yeah.
sits there and sits there. And so we're a couple hours now past the time. And I can tell that the truck that delivers to all of my town, it's only one, right? I
Right.
can tell that that truck is back at the yard. He's done for the
Right.
day.
It was getting
And
later in the evening too. I remember.
yeah, yeah. And all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, and it's the UPS guy, a different UPS guy. And he's
Mhm.
like, here's your package. And I'm like, how did you get this? He says, well, we put it as if we recorded it going onto the other truck, but it got put on mine. And he must have been doing a town south of here. And he was on
Right.
his way back to the yard and got off the freeway and delivered my watch to me. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, it
Right.
doesn't matter, right? None of this stuff really matters,
Yeah.
but this is the kind of stuff I love. So I was so happy that he did that. So, that's a good thing
Yeah.
that UPS does. So I'll let you guys
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
how this one goes, but yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. And just like the saga with the AirPods, like even Wendy, even my wife, she asked, "Did Greg get his iPods yet? Did he get his AirPods yet? Did he get his AirPods? Has Greg gotten his phone?" I'm like, no, no, all that's he waited. He couldn't decide on the color, and I think he delayed his time, his time windows. But yeah, like we love this stuff, right? It's all part of the ordering, the pre-ordering, the announcement, the pre-order, the shipping, and all of that. We love all of that, all the way to the unboxing. So
Yep.
yeah, no, I'm with you.
And I'll tell you right now, if you're still trying to find an iPhone in store, or because they're out to mid-November to late November now. If you're trying to
Yeah,
find it, just keep checking. So over the weekend, there was a lot of fluctuating inventory at the three Apple stores that I have, and they're not massive Apple stores, right? So there was a lot of fluctuating inventory, but I have not seen anything since Saturday. About Saturday midday, all models of the Pro Max, regardless of
yeah,
capacity and color, were gone, and
right.
nothing has come back. So, I mean, just keep trying. You'll
Yeah,
find what you want there. So
and they are going back because like look at Brandon Butch and Marcus Brown, Marquez, and a few of the other guys, right? They ordered every phone in every color, so
yeah,
they'll be going back. They'll be, Apple. I'm sure there's a process with those returns and things like that. So they'll get those phones redistributed pretty as soon as they can. So